I want to show you some photographs and just ask you to comment on them as they come up.
Okay.
You recognize that gentleman?
Ray. Great smile, a great pleasant face, a very calming effect. Just to hear him talk sometimes made you more relaxed. I mean, that edge was gone. He made a really big difference and a very great impression on all of us. On all of us.
Well, my name is Raymond Vath. I'm a physician trained at the University of Washington. I joined the MEDEX program right at the end of my residency. It was the last week, actually, and Dr. Ripley called me into his office. He was a department chair. He said there's a young doctor here who's starting a program that was going to involve a military corpsman, and he's looking for somebody trained in community psychiatry, preferably with military background, which I had. I was in the Air Force as a meteorologist. Then I went to medical school on the GI Bill and interned at Madigan Hospital in the Army as an Army doctor. So he gave me Dick Smith's name and phone number, and I called him and he said, come down, and we interviewed me, and we clicked right from the moment that we met. During my internship, I'd worked with corpsmen, but it was that time in Madigan where I really learned to respect the skill and the support that corpsmen were able to give to doctors. And when he heard all that, he said, I want you, and hired me on the spot. I was hired to be a community psychiatrist for two purposes. One is to help overcome community resistance to a change in the medical profession, and secondly, to help design the psychiatric curriculum for the program. The most significant resistance from the medical community first was from the nurses. They said, how come you're doing this for these corpsmen? Why don't you do this, include us in the program? And I said, if you want to work with us and become part of our team, we'll get the Medical Practice Act to include you. And immediately she was on board. Dick and I were presenting to the Spokane County Medical Association, and after he was done with his presentation, a doctor got up and said, this is a communist plot out to weaken the practice of medicine and all. And so I got up and I said, I can understand your concern about this, but I want you to know that I have had 14 years as a military officer. I've got a security clearance. I'm a loyal American. And quite frankly, I'm not sure this is a good program. And we need people like you to monitor us. And if you encounter any problems that come up in this, I want you to call me directly. I know how to kill this program from the inside quicker than you do from the outside. He became one of our biggest supporters. Probably the most risky resistance to our program was from a doctor in the legislature, a senator from Spokane who was a chiropractor, and he said he would not support this unless we somehow persuaded the State Medical Society to push for insurance inclusion for chiropractic. We came back to the office and said, we're dead in the water. He's the chairman of a committee that is essential to get this passed. We had one of our brainstorming sessions and came up with the idea that there were organizations who understood the politics involving veterans, and that was the American Legion and the VFW. So I called them, and we didn't tell them about Senator today. We just said, we're neophytes, we don't know what we're doing politically, can you help us? And they brought busloads of people, especially from Eastern Washington. The next day, Senator Day called me and said, I want you to know I'm going to add my name to the list of supporters. I said, Senator Day, thank you. With your support, it's bound to succeed, and I really appreciate it. And of course, a few months later, Governor Dan Evans signed it into law.
It was a pretty hard time, I think, for all of us, not knowing what was going to happen to us and not knowing if the communities were going to be accepting us and those kinds of things. I had brought my world down as small as I could so I could deal with it, because it was hard for me. I don't know about the rest of the guys, but it was really difficult for me.
When you're in combat, there's a lot of emotion, sometimes can be crippling, quite frankly. So these people had already had experience with seeing people have emotional responses to situations beyond what most people in the world experience. I felt it was really important to help them have simple tools of getting their patients to talk to them about their emotional issues. And one of the questions I taught them to ask was, if you had some really difficult times in your life, that you're having trouble coping, and can you tell me about that? And it's amazing how that question seemed to open up a flood of stuff. In fact, several of them came to me and said, I was doing my history and all this kind of stuff, and I'd ask that question and a flood would come out. I swear there's a bond that forms from a compassionate encounter more than a caring encounter. When people know that you know what they're struggling with, and then you apply your care to that, you've got a patient that will bond with you for life. And it proves what Carl Rogers said, that if people are loving, honest, and compassionate, people will heal. And I think that was one of the core issues that I wanted to get across as a psychiatrist to those early corpsmen.
Mercurian, Ray Vath, Jerry Bassett, and Dick. And Dick is doing his famous, "This is the way we put it together. This is the way we do it." And Ray is going, "I'm not sure that's going to work, Dick." And Jerry is going, I'll do it. And Mercurian is saying, "I can't pay for that. I can't pay for that." They were a great team, though.
In 1969, the people working for MEDEX were competent and enthusiastic individuals. Dr. Vath taught us how to work together as a team.
I try to think of my overall contribution.
Many, many good greetings and hugs to Dr. Vath. I don't think I ever got past calling him Dr. Vath, but he was always the very calm, cool, and collected in the middle of the circus that was usually MEDEX, at least around the office. He, I think, kept us all from going crazy sometimes.
I had a father who raised me with the idea that you could do anything you set your mind to within reason. And he had a very positive attitude about life. Even though in the drought area he lost his farm, went into the city, started a construction business, was doing really great in 1929, rolled around. And those things didn't buck him out of the saddle, He just went on and built a good life.
So Ray introduced me, and I think the whole staff, to 4 armings of the process of an organization: forming, storming, norming, and performing. The sequence of what happens when people come together. And of course, that actually gets repeated over and over again, that cycle. When there's a new issue, a major change or something like that, it starts all over again. But that has been used for 50 years.
I wanted to communicate to every one of these corpsmen, you're going to do well here. You're going to take good care of patients. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're available to consult with you if you encounter problems in the field. Call us. I'll talk to you on the phone.
I was proud to be in that first class of medics, and I can't tell you how helpful you were to me in a lot of very silent ways. So congratulations.
That program owes the 4 of us for planting good seeds. And to my relief, they've hung on to them for all these 50 years.
Dr. Vath, thank you for being you. Thank you for being a part of our history, our lives, and what you have done for not only MEDEX, but yes, us as individuals as well.
Thank you, Dr. Vath.
As we say up at Lummi, Indian Reservation, Lummi Nation, Haishka, CM. Thank you very much, respected teacher, Ray Vath.